What made me want to be a part of the project is I love Black people. I try to do everything Black, and they told me all these famous Black people was gonna be a part of it. I was like, oh yeah, let me get in the company of the famous Black people.
You know what I'm saying? That boy he just outfit match the background.
He's gonna go ahead and create something over here. You know, historically, protest music has helped guide us through expressing political messaging while creating a sense of emotional connection. And you guys all certainly did that on this new EP. I want to go around the room and ask what made each of you want to be a part of this project. Freddie, let's start with you.
Well, honestly, what y'all picked me to do, I was scared to do it at first because I was like, y'all want me to redo the Gil Scott-Heron song? Because he was like, I'm not no singer or nothing like that, you know what I'm saying? So I respect everybody on here that really sing and all that. So it's like I kind of had to get melodic with that. So it was a challenge. So that made me want to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's an honor to have the opportunity to cover such an iconic song that means so much to me, to so many women, multi-generationally. So I'm just really excited to be a part of this for sure.
What made me want to be a part of the project is I love Black people. I try to do everything Black, and they told me all these famous Black people was gonna be a part of it. I was like, oh yeah, let me get in the company of the famous Black people.
I love that. Momo, how about yourself?
I'm kind of in the same boat with Mr. Freddie Gibbs. I've never done a spoken word piece. I'm primarily a vocalist, and I am a writer. I do write songs, and I've studied spoken word in the past. A few years ago, I was really obsessed with it in high school, slam poetry and watch Maya Angelou speak and all those different things, and really dive deep into something that I'm passionate about. So, yeah.
I love that. And last but not least, Brent, how about yourself? What made you want to be a part of this?
You know, anything involving Black history, I wanted to be involved in some shit like that. You feel me? So
yeah,
I've seen the opportunity, especially, you know, with a big platform like ESPN, it's not very often that we're highlighted in that way. So I was just be a part of it.
You know, Toby, I'm going to kick it back over to you because you really have been creating music for the movement since you first hit the scenes. What moves you to tap into this purpose?
I'll be honest with you, it's just who I am. I don't do music for everybody. I do music for a specific group of people. If you come from the hood, for me, coming up, I ain't had nobody to really give me game. Like all the stuff that I learned, for the most part, was through like movies and just the streets. And I do music specifically for that reason, to get game to somebody who coming up behind me that's from my type of circumstances, and everybody else that get the music. It's cool, I appreciate it, but it really ain't for you. It's for the southwest side of Houston, Texas.
I love that. Freddie, what about yourself? You know, when you think about what Gil did and your contributions to this album, and even the space that you stand in right now, you know, who are your influences and who are your inspirations?
Tobe one of my inspirations right now because I be looking at his videos and I be like, man, he got all them cool ass outfits. You know what I'm saying? Boy this outfit matched the background. I mean, I like I said, man, I was surprised that y'all even got, you know, a rapper like myself involved with this. So, you know, when it, you know, like when y'all told me it was about to be a cover, I was like, damn, how am I cover it? The whole Gil Scott-Heron thing, man, is just, his story is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Getting into school and like going to like, just his educational story is fascinating. You know what I'm saying? Because he was like going to a school that he didn't really want to go to. You know what I mean? It was kind of like a white school, but his mom was really pushing him to go there, but he didn't really want to do it. You know what I mean? So just like his journey through education was, you know what I'm saying, very inspiring, man. Certain things that we try to, like Tobe just said, we try to convey with the music now. You know what I mean? Especially in rap. You know what I'm saying? It really imitates your authenticity, to be honest.
Yeah. Brent, what about yourself? Who are your influences and inspirations?
I get influenced by like Black art all across the board. As of late, I've really been listening to a lot of Marvin, like just watching his interviews and seeing his perspective and his take on like how he went from speaking to women to speaking about the world to speaking about Black issues to speaking about war, and how he could seamlessly weave it in a way where like you listen to it and it sounds good and it sounds sweet, you feel me? But at the same time, he really speaking to that soul for real. Like seeing how he could like really seamlessly make the rawest, realest, most relatable music so palatable to like everybody.
You know, this album to me is so important because I feel like it really connects with what's happening right now in Black America. But I'd love to hear from you all, the people who brought this EP to life, you know, how it's really kind of touching on some of the headlines that we are still experiencing right now in 2021. Momo, let's start with you on that one. How do you think that this is connecting with Black America right now?
Even just with the title, Black History Always, I love that title because a lot of times Black History, February comes around and it is portrayed as like, okay, something in the past. It's all the images are like black and white and it seems so far away when really Black history is happening right now. You know, it's every second that we are alive and that we breathe and that we push forward, Black history is happening and Black history is being made. Whatever you're doing right now to further the conversation and to, you know, further yourself and further the advancement of the community, that is a part of Black history. And I think that's super powerful.
Anyone else care to jump in on that one?
For me, like as far as this project, I feel like it's so needed and it touches on what's really going on because I think so often we're bonded through like trauma and negativity and rhetoric and bullshit, you feel me, and imagery. So I feel like you got a project and you got a whole bunch of Black people from different backgrounds that come together to do something positive. That shit always gonna resonate.
And it don't seem forced. It don't seem fake.
Yeah.
Because you know what I'm saying? I've seen a lot of people like during like this whole like second like civil rights movement we've been having in the past like 18 to 24 months. I just seen a lot of people like just try to make songs about it and capitalize. I feel like a lot of them just trying to capitalize. So, you know, I feel like, you know, this ain't forced, it's from the heart, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it feels especially organic to your point. And along those lines, there is a racism crisis in America right now. It never went away, but I think that because of cell phones and video cameras, we're able to see things that we knew to be true for so long. How does this affect the music that you guys make? You know, how does this affect the work that you guys do in your life that's outside of this EP even?
I feel like it just for the simple fact that, you know, if you Black and you're creative, like because you Black, it's gonna affect you. You feel me? Like it's gonna affect me walking down the street. It's gonna affect me watching TV. It's gonna affect me, you know. So that naturally that's gonna go into the creative. I have the mindset of I want to make a record for this specific situation because it's just gonna come out.
Right. Yeah, it's just gonna come out, man. And when it happened naturally like that, that's the best. I don't feel like me personally as an artist, I don't feel like I gotta like focus on like the current state of America and all of that stuff because I feel like I talk about that stuff all the time. Honestly, I'm giving it to you from a crack dealer's perspective. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't speak on from a doctor or a lawyer's perspective. Like, man, I sat on my block and sold dope. So, you know what I mean? But I got an opinion about political stuff just because, you know, I was, you know, involved in criminal activity. Don't mean that I can't feel a certain way about things. I don't see things. So a lot of that stuff affects me. You know what I mean? It affects me getting locked up, how long I'm gonna do, you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna be away from my kids, stuff like that. A lot of this stuff does. But I do, like I said, I do it all the time. I don't think that I gotta nail it in on a certain subject or matter in time. You know what I mean? I feel like everything that my whole struggle speaks to all of that, you know?
Right, absolutely. I also feel like as a creative, sometimes like especially in times where so much shit going on, like we got an obligation to just sit back and listen for a little bit, like
right.
see how people feel, because it's people that you feel me can feel all type of ways about all type of shit, and they yell it off the top of a building, and ain't nobody gonna listen to them. You feel me? So the fact that we got a platform where we can just say something and people gonna quote it and listen to it and feel it, we gotta really say some shit that people gonna like, that people feel, people gonna appreciate.
Right. Or you could just say some shoot 'em up dumb shit and make a goofy ass dance, and the label and the media is gonna push that narrative further than what we talking about. You know what I'm saying? You could be like, oh, shoot 'em up, pop, and then that's what they're gonna put in your face, because that's the narrative that the record labels and stuff want to push. If I go to the record label right now and say I want to make a Black history album, they're gonna walk my Black ass out the door. They're gonna be like, no, we want to hear that pimp, gangster, can't trip, cocaine. That's what we want to hear. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna give you that, but I'm gonna give it to you in the way that I want to give it to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm still gonna have my social commentary infused with that. You ain't about to you ain't got just some ignorant, you know what I'm saying, puppet that you can control. You know what I'm saying? So that's the part of things that I'm trying to change. You got to change the industry from inside out, you know?
I was going to ask, do you think because of the moment that we're in now, because different types of people are finally being invited to have seats at the table and people are paying attention and listening to people such as yourself, that now is the time to make some of those changes, to have a little bit more control as artists than maybe you've ever had before?
Yeah, we need to control the outlets, the distribution of the places that people go to get our music and consume our music. We need our own control of those, because like long as we don't control those, you know, we don't really control what goes in people's face. You know what I'm saying? We can make the art all day, you know what I mean? But if they, you know, like I said, if it's a certain narrative being pushed, then, you know, it can kind of get lost in the sauce.
Yeah, I feel like oftentimes when people talk ownership and people talk they're speaking from like a monetary perspective. So people talk ownership because you want to own your music, but if you got to own that narrative, you feel me? Like
right.
When other people in control over how us as Black people are being portrayed, you always gonna have a fucked up interpretation.
And Tinashe and Momo, I want to bring you ladies in too, because Black women, once again, you know, are carrying the messaging. I think of a lot of the things that this EP really represents. Are you guys feeling a little bit of a shift that you're being listened to and heard, importantly, in ways that maybe you hadn't been before?
It's a little bit yes and a little bit no. I feel like every once in a while, or even let's take Black History Month. Every February, you know, Black History Month comes around, and then there's the corporations, and there are the people who are in charge, and they're like, okay, we'll pass you the mic and we'll ask you the same questions every year. What's it like to be Black? And what's it like, you know, what's it like this, like, what is it? All of these questions that we've already answered a million times before, and nobody has time to answer those again. When in reality, we want to talk about our art. Our art is, if you want to know what it's like, listen to what we have to say through our music, listen to what we have to say, watch how we walk, but don't ask like, what is it like to be Black? There's so many people who have already answered that question. You don't need to hear it from me so that you can forget on March 1st. You know, it's the same thing. So it's a little bit half and half. Like, yes, more people are paying a little bit more attention and they're screaming it a bit more, but are people really listening? It's hard to tell, you know?
Yeah.
I agree with you in that sentiment. I think that there is, you know, a lot of even performative understanding, especially when it comes to corporations, companies, the record labels themselves. Like one example is when they talked about getting rid of the urban category at the Grammys and making it like, I don't think it was like contemporary R&B or something. Like, oh, it's a lot better. Like, I just think yeah, we have a lot more work to do.
Girls took over rap. There's more girl rappers than guys.
Right now, it's popping for the ladies, so that's awesome.
It is.
I see it.
It is. I respect that.
So I want to talk about Black History Always and what this means to each of you and how this flows over into the music industry.
Black History Always. I mean, like Momo said, we can't forget about everything that we was talking about this month on March 1st. So, you know, I think, you know, I mean, honestly, man, I don't hate it. I don't like when Black History Month come around, because I feel like people be acting weird, especially my white friends. I be making them pay. I make them pay for dinner all month. Like I got my white buddies right now. They about to pay for lunch. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we need a longer month. We need more acknowledgement. It shouldn't just be 28 days to taken out of the year to acknowledge that. I think they need to give us the month of June so we can barbecue, really, to be honest.
Well, you can in Black History Always if it's always.
Always. It needs to be something. It needs to be something done every month for Black history in America. I like what the NBA is doing, because they be wearing these shirts that I be seeing. They be saying built by Black history. That's amazing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Just for that white league to acknowledge that it was built by Black people, you know what I'm saying? And on the backs of Black players. And, you know, I respect that.
Yeah. Tobe, Black History Always. What does that mean to you?
I just feel like if I'm finishing the sentence, Black history always gonna be in the present and in the future.
Another thing too, man, with this Black history stuff, we got to understand that like Black history didn't start with slavery and us coming over here as slaves, man.
Oh,
you know
bro.
what I'm saying? That's a big narrative that get pushed in America. I hate it. You know what I'm saying? Every year, slave movies. We got so many slave movies.
I never really had no real connection to the slave movies like that because I've been to Nigeria, so I
Right.
I knew exactly where you know what I'm saying. So I'm one of the only people in my neighborhood like that who was blessed enough to just like have the direct connection and not have my whole history whitewashed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and I just hate that so many of my partners really believe the narrative and they ended up dead or in jail just because they ain't
Right.
really know, like, yo, you really built like that. And
and you know what too, man? It's a disconnect between, you know, cats like myself and guys like you that got your lineage and your family came from Nigeria. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where the fuck my family came from.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I had to do that. I had to go do the 23andMe and all of that to find out that I am Nigerian. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna have to talk about that when I see you. But but like, so it'd be a disconnect between the brothers that's in America from Africa. We feel like, damn, nigga, like you're not connecting with us. So there's a lost connection there, man. We kind of need to like bridge that. You know what I'm saying?
gap.
Because
I got you. Yeah, we
because
kind of
there's a
need to
lot of
bridge
things
the gap.
because there's a lot of things that we could learn from each
Yeah.
other on that tip, you know?
100%.
Brent, Black history always. What does that mean to you?
Man, just like bro was saying, like we are Black history. We are history, period. We are the history. Shit, Black history is goddamn stopping at a stoplight. Black history, motherfucker, using the toilet when you wake up. There's so many things that we done created and ways that we influenced our culture that it's Black history and shit that we don't even really perceive as Black history.
Right.
Yeah. Well, Black history always is not just a notion. It's also a really great EP that you guys helped put together for Disney. So thank you, Freddie, Tobe, Tinashe, Momo, and Brent. This was fantastic. And I'm excited for everybody to check out this EP.